I had to jump back on here because that's such an incredible shot there, buddy. That's Cameron's feed there, and I had to come back on because you can really see that wall cloud nicely there. This is northeast of Graham, and that is a really nice shot Cameron has of the wall cloud. So I'm going to let this. I've got to get dressed for the newscast, but I'm going to let this roll here because that's a really cool shot there, of this wall cloud here. So I'm just going to let this roll here for a minute. Again, that is in Young County. That's northern Young County, or actually just kind of north of Graham here a little bit. That is a wall cloud, real low hanging, dark looking wall cloud. And in the middle, that's not a tornado, that's a rain shaft. That's a rain shaft in the middle of it. And you do see some spin in it. I wouldn't say there's significant rotation, but there's some spin in it. It does not look like, at least right now, look like a tornadic wall cloud. This is you can get a wall cloud that spins, and you get it underneath the rotating updraft of these thunderstorms. You get some inflow, and you get a little bit of some push of air around on the backside of it, and you get some lowering pressure, and that causes the wall cloud to develop. And you do see that there. It looks like a pretty impressive. So the flat cloud you see there is going to be your mesocyclone. That's your updraft base, and the cloud underneath it would be your wall cloud there. When you get tornadoes, you look for them to come out of that. If you look, you can see the spin. You can see how the bottom of those clouds are coming in from one direction, and you look above it, you can see the clouds going in another direction. So you can see a little bit of spin in that, and it's had this spin pretty much all afternoon long. It kind of developed there over Lake Kickapoo, and it kind of just continued from there. Thankfully, we don't have strong enough what we call low-level wind shear to produce tornadoes today, because if we did, that would do it. So sometimes, though, I've told Cameron this before, sometimes the best storms we get are the storms that form on days like today when you don't really expect significant ingredients to be in place for them. But I just had to come on because it's such an awesome shot there. That is a beautiful wall cloud there, though. It's really cool looking, and and in this situation, it's harmless for right now, anyway. So that's what we like to see. We like to see cool storm structures like this, and then Nacona is not in any danger right now, not at all. And this is just northeast of Graham, Texas, which is Young County, Texas. We had a lot of hail today. Some of it's been pretty big too, but I haven't heard. Of course, you guys have been submitting a lot of, reports here, and I've just been. It's so difficult when you're trying to do things in here. You're just a two-man weather team right now. It's real difficult to really be able to keep up with all that. You're trying to keep up with everything at one time. Jacksboro, you could see some stuff in your area here. The storms are kind of trying to they're over in Young County right now, but they may try to kind of move over that way. That's an impressive looking storm, to say the least. That's beautiful there, man. Beautiful. There's a storm. You can see that nice hook that's developed just northeast of Graham. And if we look, you got that little rotation there on it. It isn't tight. It's not a tornadic circulation, but you can definitely see it there. And it's about to move over the eastern side of Lake Graham, and then going to move right into the town of Graham itself. Once again, there's Cameron's feed. I'll try to pull up my Graham tower cam. And if you're wondering if there's audio, there is audio here still. I'm just getting dressed for the newscast right now, and just leaving this Cameron's feed up here. It's just some cool looking video, weather video to show, and just figure I just leave it up for right now. But there's that storm. I'm going to try to pull up my my Graham tower cam here. Kind of move it around some. Here's Graham. You can kind of see that's kind of looking northeast. Let me see if I can control it. Yeah. So there's that storm. And that hook echo is just northeast of Graham. And there's your wall cloud there. If you kind of see it there, that's your wall cloud. And again, that's just northeast of the town of Graham, or the city of Graham. And Graham's actually one of our more populated areas. Now that looks ominous. That looks like a tornado, but that is not. That is just a wall cloud. I've got Cameron on it. I've got all eyes on it. It does have some spin, some rotation, but it doesn't appear to be anything too major. The rotation has been pretty persistent this afternoon, but it's been pretty fairly weak. And the good news is we don't have a lot in the way of what we call low-level wind shear. That means we don't have a lot of low spin. The winds in the atmosphere aren't real strong down at the lower parts of the atmosphere. Matter of fact, they're not real strong throughout the entire atmosphere, but just strong enough to promote supercells this afternoon and early this evening. But you don't have that spin. The wind's not making that spin down at the Earth's surface, so the chances for it to produce a tornado are very low. You have to basically see storm interactions with it, and that's what produces it. And sometimes you get outflow boundaries and whatnot that these storms can ride along, and sometimes they can generate different types of circulations and different types of things within these storms here. Warm back over here to this. There's Cameron's feed. Pretty dark feed there. Pretty gnarly looking storm for sure. And there's your radar. We got severe thunderstorm warnings now for this south-southeast, we're moving supercell. It comes into the just northeast side of Lake Graham, or just northeast of Lake Graham. And if you take a road out of Graham along 2652 and you go northward, that's where this little rotating thunderstorm is. You got some very big hail between Jean and Loving. Big hail now, and that's kind of tracking south-southeast. Now, the biggest hail, unless the storm moves more south and southeast, will miss Graham. But if you live east of Graham along 380 between Bryson and Graham, some pretty big hailstones will be possible with that storm shortly here. Towards Bryson, you could see some hail there too. In Antelope, some pretty good downpours, but nothing severe there. And we continue with these waves of storms across Archer County, where it continues just to rain very heavily here this afternoon with more flooding there. We're still seeing some heavy rain over Lakeside City, and now moving back into Wichita Falls. Could be some small hail with that activity. And you got more developing back off to the west. So flooding is our biggest concern into the evening, along with some gusty winds and some hail-producing thunderstorms here. Again, there's Cameron's feed. Got a pretty nice shot of that storm there. Here is the Graham Tower cam. All right, so we got about 10 minutes for the newscast, so I definitely will be jumping off here now. And I'll have more updates. There, look at Cameron's feet again. Look at that wall cloud, man. Shoo. Dark for sure. That's a great shot. That's pretty low there too. Every time I about jump off of here, I see something else I got to pause for. So, all right, this time I really am going to jump off here.